Alrighty, everybody. Agatha Christie, the ABC murders with Hercule Poirot, and we're gonna talk to Jap.
I had best talk to Jap.
Okay, fine, I won't look at him, I'll talk to him.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is it possible for Cust to have killed all 3 victims? Cust was in Church on the day of Sir Clarke's murder. All letters sent to Poirot came from his typewriter. Cust was in Bexhill on the day of Betty Barnard's murder. Andover. Cust was in all the towns. Are there any common points between Cust and the killer? All the letters sent to Poirot came from his typewriter. He keeps newspapers to talk about the murders. He has a knife like the one used to stab Sir Carmichael. He lied about his destination. He suffers from hemoptysis. He brings up blood when he coughs. He has blood on him. He has ABC guides at home. He could have committed these crimes. Is Cust's behavior suspicious? He lied about his destination. He has blood on him, and he keeps newspapers to talk about the murders. Guilty.
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABCs in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis. The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes, yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can we talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury has confirmed this.
He may have done the murders in an altered state.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a murder without wanting to.
Très intéressant. I shall remember that.
Right. I'll go and examine the suspect's room.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to examinatum.
All right, we'll discuss them tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to see if you've missed something.
Okay. The personality of Cust that everyone talks about seems to be rather contrary to the murderer. Being all like confident and stuff. The theories are running through my brain.
I've been going past this modest guest house for so long. I would never have thought that the ABC case would lead me here. Marbury. There is a very pretty village by this name, in Cheshire. To Scotland Yard, please.
Question Cust. Candelabra moustache. Okay.
This man is not in good shape.
Shaking hands. Lowered eyes. crumpled
He is
jacket.
worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust, about 40 years old, in London. He lives in Marbury Guest House, where he rents a room on a yearly basis. He's a door-to-door stocking seller. He was in each town where there was a murder.
What do you want from me?
Ask if he knows who is speaking to him. Present yourself. Ask who he is.
Good day, Mr. Cust. I am Hercule Poirot.
Ah, you're the detective.
Talk about the letters. Ask where he sent the letters.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Acknowledge his innocence. Get him to admit that he has forgotten.
Très bien. You did not write these letters. But the question remains, who did?
Probably one of my enemies. I have many.
Ask if he is capable of killing. Accuse him of being a killer. Admit that you do not believe he is a murderer.
I do not believe that you are capable of murder, Mr. Cust.
I hope not.
Insist on the fact that he enjoyed the war. Get him to talk about the army.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Professor Clarke treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
Accuse him of Dr. Clarke's murder. Accuse him of the 3 murders. Get him to believe he is innocent.
Of course, you never considered killing a doctor who took such good care of you.
No, never.
Ask him if he acknowledges going to the 3 towns. Say that witnesses saw him in the 3 towns.
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot. But not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards.
So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself. Proof that you wrote them.
So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
Gothic confessional.
He is prey to a terrible anxiety. Is it remorse? Or simply the pressure of the questioning and the train journey?
Here we go.
Take this. It will help you.
He ate his glass at the same time. Awesome.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes.
Murders.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
Starting to... Yeah, I'm starting to get the picture here. He does not deny having committed these crimes, but has no memory of doing so. I think someone else is taking advantage of his medical state. Someone is taking advantage of him. Someone is taking advantage of him.
And what conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
What do we know about Cust's health? He suffers from hemoptysis. He brings up blood when he coughs. He says he did not write the letters. He had blood on him. He has a problem with his throat. You would expect a murderer to keep a newspaper about all his crimes, but he suffers from absences. Attacked from behind. He did not appear to recognize Poirot and orders him to kill them. Okay, so he suffers from absences. Cust is mentally and physically weak, not really the profile of our killer. Are there any clues that do not support Cust's guilt in the Kirsten murder? You would expect the murder's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, but not on the buttonholes. Yet, we see quite the opposite. Are there any clues that do not support Cust's guilt? He did not seem to recognize Poirot. He had no reason to kill them. Okay, there. There are several details which show that Cust is not guilty. Can we say without a shadow of doubt that Cust is guilty? He had blood on him. Not guilty. He cannot remember writing the letters and something.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then he confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Someone is using him. Is Cust clever? Blood on him. It wasn't for pleasure. Cust is parsimonious. He keeps his pencils, sharpens them. Army was the only place he didn't feel inferior. No questions, just follow orders. He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident. Exactly, he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. He appears so harmless. He would get angry and wave his arms about, but even then he wasn't frightening. Mediocre. Self-confident. No. Easy to influence. Seducer. Completely harmless. You'd forget him. Without any charm. Likes trains. Not at all. He does not like trains. Cold. He's cold. Okay. Generous? No. He's miserly.
You see? Cust's character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.
Starting now. New objective, go home. Go home. Okay, fine, I'll go home. Go home, Poirot, go home.
To White Haven, please.
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except maybe 1 or 2 details.
Details. Ah, mon ami. The devil is in the detail, as we say.
Excuse me?
Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But Poirot, what are you afraid of?
Trust me. It is important you carry a weapon for this meeting. I will lend you mine.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait 1 moment, I will bring you my weapon.
Bring the revolver to Hastings. I don't know where it is, though. Bring the revolver to Hastings, okay. I guess it's not in the alligator? The cleaning tomcat. Oh yeah, 3 ego points.
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets.
Wait. What did he say? The blank.
The revolver is loaded with real bullets. I still have time to choose blanks.
Oh, no. Blanks.
The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have time to choose real bullets.
No. We're not killing people. We are not killing people. We are using blanks. We are not killing people. Not for real. We ain't killing nobody.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able.
Okay, I have the weapon though. Like, come on. Okay, what am I supposed to do, game? I don't want them.
Daily Flicker, September 11th, 1935. ABC affair. The latest victim in a narrow escape. The ABC murderer arrested in Doncaster in tragic circumstances. His name is A.B. Cust. He's struck in Andover, strangled in Bexhill, stabbed in Churston, and in Doncaster, he attempted to kill without any weapon other than the terror he inspires. His latest victim would have been Dick D. Dunbar. Mr. Dunbar, a hotel owner, collapsed when he found out suddenly that the killer was staying at his establishment. The police surrounded the hotel and arrested the murderer. Thanks to the quick intervention of the ambulance team, Mr. Dunbar is currently in hospital recovering from a cardiac arrest. The Lancet, September 11th, 1935. general medical journal. The alphabet murderer is not psychotic, according to Professor Thompson. In an early issue, we claimed that the alphabet murderer was not psychotic. Our assertion has just been confirmed by Professor Thompson, a Scotland Yard expert, who has spoken to the prisoner at great length. Not all obsessional killers are psychotic, he explained. It is true that Cust has a disturbed personality and memory disorders. But his amnesia, whether real or pretended, does not alter the fact that he was perfectly lucid at the time of his acts. Therefore, he will not escape punishment.
Okay. But I'm done, game. I'm done. I don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot anyone. I want blanks.
Ah, some cool hair.
Okay. How do I decide that I'm done, though? Game. I really am trying to do what you're telling me. Oh. I do it like this? Okay. Sure.
Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used, it is almost new.
Gandhi mustache. Answer the telephone.
Chief Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry, but we haven't found anything.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've only found prints left by Cust and his landlady.
Well, never mind, I shall make do.
So, are you still going to hold your meeting?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guest coming up the stairs.
Why have you brought us here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cust's arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Gray formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did he challenge me, Hercule Poirot?
Perhaps he wanted to play with you, to taunt you.
Xenophobia? Maybe he didn't like you because you're foreign.
I may be wrong, but maybe by provoking you, he was looking for glory?
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Okay. Why did the murderer make a mistake in the address? The body was still warm. Piece of envelope with the wrong address. The letter's late arrival saved the murderer. Poirot's address is not very well known. Murder challenged Poirot because he has an inferiority complex. Murder challenged Poirot for glory. Error in the address caused the letter to be delivered late. Murder challenged Poirot out of xenophobia. The murderer always warned Poirot about his murders. Why did he make a mistake? Save the murder? No. Why did the murderer make a mistake? I'm just like trying to random guess here. Why did the murderer make a mistake? Well, I presume Poirot's address is not very well known. Letter's late arrival saved the murderer? I'm just doing the same thing over and over. I feel like Poirot's address is not very well known. Should be in there, right? I don't know. Why did the murderer make a mistake in the address? There was no mistake before this. Here we go. The mistake is intentional. Why did the killer send his letters to Hercule Poirot? Yeah, on the other hand, not very well known, but the murderer managed to send the two first letters correctly, so that's strange. He wrote to Poirot because his address is not very well known.
Is everything clear now?
Okay.
You might like to explain your reasoning again.
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a rule to always post his letter before the murder. He never digressed from that rule. However, in Churston, he encountered a problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants. With advance warning, it would be easy to arrest him. Therefore, the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
Absolument. It is a very subtle plan. It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of the psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clarke, the answer to your question is in the medical records of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
True though, true. What do we know about Cust? Is easily influenced. Tries to overcome his travel sickness by traveling often by train. His newspapers, he won't see the crime scene, are in Dr. Clarke's medical records. The door-to-door salesman, it was coincidence that he went to the victims' towns. Except because he wanted to swim, he was in the war, and has never been quite the same in the head since. Cust was wounded during the war. The murderer found a way to access Dr. Clarke's medical records and tried to burn them. Okay. Cust. There, he was. Cust is mentally fragile and easy to manipulate. How to explain Cust's presence at the crime scenes? He was a door-to-door salesman. It was coincidence that he went to the towns. Found a way to access and tried to burn them. Went to Bexhill because he wanted to swim. Travel sickness by traveling often by train. I don't think he does that though. No. How to explain Cust's presence at the crime scene? Honestly, I think that we have to have that one. Okay. I'm just trying my way through all of these now. Oh, Cust was manipulated. The killer made him go to the towns so as to...
Dr. Clarke's patient's records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What sort of killer could have such a plan? And what would he gain from 3 completely different murders?
Indeed, it seems unlikely that the same murderer committed all the crimes. What should we take from that?
Say that just one murder is of interest to the killer. Say that the murderer kills for pleasure. Say that the killer has developed a taste for murder. Say that there are 3 murderers. I would say that there's actually only one of them that is of interest to the killer.
Just one murder was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest, and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at 2 potential culprits.
Franklin, Clarke...
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle. That's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out of jealousy. Mr. Clarke may have killed his brother in order to inherit his large fortune. Both have a motive.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clarke's records.
Please allow me to disagree with you, mademoiselle.
Indicated Donald was treated by Dr. Clarke. Indicated Donald was resting at Churston. Indicated Donald's firm worked for Clarke.
He works for Court and Brunskill, one of whose clients was Sir Carmichael.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it, and you may have used the opportunity to take a look at Sir Carmichael's records.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clarke?
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive. The question is, which of you has the profile that most resembles the murderer? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Oh, they're holding hands over there. Okay, is Donald clever? Megan really liked Donald. He would have been made a good husband. He's always attractive and generous. Attentive and generous. That's about myself. I don't know what to do. He's a bright man with a promising career. He is clever. Is he self-confident? No, he has doubts about himself, though. Easy to influence. Seducer. Likes trains. Yes, you can sleep on them. Cold. No, passionate. Quick-tempered. Fine. Impulsive. Generous. Generous, yes, generous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument,
yes.
Mr. Clarke.
Of course.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Yes. Miss Franklin Clever. School report for Franklin Clarke. According to his teachers, Franklin was a good student but lacked discipline. Clever. Self-confident. Very plucky and sure of himself, but he's so naive when it comes to women. Confident. Seducer. Oh, here. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clarke. Likes trains. The Railway Children by E. Nesbit. Cold. Is Franklin impulsive? Cold. Generous. Yes.
As you have all seen, there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clarke's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
Mr. Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly.
Thora Grey bothered him, said that Franklin was impatient.
Because of Miss Grey. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clarke's death. For you, Mr. Clarke, it was a disaster. If Miss Grey had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So you hurried home from China, and you took action. In truth, Cust was no more than a puppet manipulated by the real culprit. You, Mr. Clarke.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter. We know that for sure.
Oh no, you know perfectly well. That is not true. Eh bien voilà, light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious, but you haven't any proof.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff.
Invent an item of proof found in Alice Asher's tobacco shop. Lie about the fingerprints found on Cust's typewriter. Say the proof is going to be easy to find. I don't really want to go with X. I feel like maybe Y if we bluff, or with A. What would Poirot do? I don't know. I don't know, I kind of feel like lying about the fingerprints. I don't know. But what if Hastings knows about it and says something? I have to make up my mind. Okay. Okay, fine. We'll lie about the fingerprints.
One thing proves it. The prints you left on Cust's typewriter.
Enough.
Oh, of course you wiped the typewriter before sending it. But not carefully enough. Scotland Yard has found your print along with those of Cust.
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter. And why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
Game, set, match. You win, Mr. Poirot. But it was worth trying.
Yes! Oh, yeah.
Don't come near me!
They're blanks.
I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot!
They're blanks.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clarke, there is no easy death for you. I expected your reaction, so I used blanks. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, but your second chance has been lost. Franklin Clarke will never inherit his brother's fortune.
I guess you can get two endings, because like the other version is that he actually does shoot himself, because he used real rounds.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to become Lady Clarke, Thora Grey left England. Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clarke. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clarke has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent. The incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money by selling his story to the press. And as for me, and with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
Nope. Okay. I don't think we want to see that again. 100% game, 471 out of 600 ego points. Missed 129 ego points. No. Okay, what are the bonuses? Timeline. Oh, we can like recreate the actual course of events here. And see. Okay. Okay. What actually happened? This episode is already kind of long. Okay, what happens in the other reconstructions again? Trophies. Eagle's Eye. Medium donkey, large donkey. Incense burner. Sheriff mustache, Dali mustache. Dragon smoke. Approve the common original letters. Billy Killer. I don't know how long those thingy majiggies are. Okay, I guess we can. I mean, they might be short. There are 32 of them, though. This episode is already far too long. I guess we just put everything into.
When Franklin understands that his brother's inheritance is going to be stolen from under his nose, he decides to get rid of him. In order not to be considered as a suspect, he has the idea of including the murder as part of a series that the police will put down to a madman. Franklin uses Sir Carmichael's medical records to choose his victims as well as the ideal suspect, Alexander Bonaparte Cust, who was seriously wounded in the war and suffers from bouts of amnesia. Franklin writes the letters he will send me before each murder on his own typewriter in advance. He contacts Cust by letter and offers him a job. Cust is convinced that he is working for a hosiery company. In reality, it is Franklin that sends him his instructions, his goods, and even his typewriter. When we receive the first letter, Hastings thinks that it is a joke. As for me, filled with foreboding, I prefer to inform Chief Inspector Japp. Following his written instructions, Cust goes to Andover. He visits Mrs. Asher's tobacco shop and sells her a pair of stockings. After Cust's visit, Franklin, in turn, enters the tobacco shop. Mrs. Asher is not suspicious of the murderer, whom she takes to be an ordinary customer. The old lady turns around to take a packet of cigarettes. She is beaten to death. We investigate the first murder with Hastings. No suspect has a motive. A few weeks later, we receive a second letter signed ABC. Chief Inspector Japp is informed. The victim's name should start with the letter B. Alexander Bonaparte Cust goes to Bexhill. He sells Mrs. Barnard a pair of stockings. Betty Barnard leaves her work. She's dressed to go out. The young woman is strangled on the beach. Betty was killed by the man who had arranged to meet her that evening, the seducer Franklin Clarke. In Bexhill, Donald Fraser appears to be the perfect suspect for Betty's murder, but he has no connection with Mrs. Asher. 5 days after the Bexhill murder, Cust goes to Churton for his work. In the afternoon, Soagre turns away a stocking seller. After dinner, Sir Carmichael Clarke takes his usual walk. His brother waits for him, hidden behind a bush. The murderer leaps out from his hiding place and cuts Sir Clarke's throat. The third letter arrived late. Franklin deliberately wrote a wrong address. In Churton, Thorogray and Franklin Clarke are the main suspects. Back in London, Cust is seized by violent coughing fit and brings up blood. He stains his shirt, which later frightens his landlady. We receive the final letter from ABC. The next murder will be in Doncaster. The second general meeting in London highlights the common point between the victims, stockings and a throat condition. Cust's landlady telephones the Scotland Yard to tell them about her suspicions. Cust is arrested shortly afterwards in Doncaster. Franklin had planned a fourth murder in Doncaster. He abandons the idea after Cust's arrest. Cust confesses to the crimes he did not commit. He's an easy culprit. Too easy. Franklin Clarke is unmasked. He is the true culprit and the man who manipulated Cust. And there we have it. Another case solved by Hercule Poirot.
Okay, so fine, it wasn't that long. No, what am I doing? Okay, so we can do the reconstructions again. I don't care. And yeah, the trophies. Person's thoughts with one look. Okay, so most of the trophies and most of the points, I'm fine with that. And that's it. That will be it. That will be that for Agatha Christie, the ABC Murders. I'm sorry. I thought it was a lot of fun to play. That I play with controller. I understand the comment I've heard that like the game is too easy. And it's definitely easier than I thought it would be. Still a perfect difficulty level for me though. It's like I don't have to use a walkthrough. I can do it on my own. But I guess it's not just like put the blue ball in the blue hole or whatever. But, I thought it was a perfect difficulty level. I got stuck lots of times. Y'all saw that. And I'm not personally that into the voicing of Poirot. Like, not that the voice actors are any wrong. I thought the voice actors were pretty good. I just like, to me, it's like, that's not the voice of Poirot. There's only one voice for Poirot, right? Yes, it is a little weird that Poirot and Japp look basically the same. Like, all the characters look very same in the face, which is still weird. And the game is forced full screen. You can't play it windowed, which is really annoying. But other than that, it was cool. I liked it. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be when I bought it and stuff, which is good. That's always a plus. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed sharing and playing this game with me. And we'll see what we come up with to be playing next. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, if you're interested to know that, then stay tuned. And yeah, we're done. So take care of yourselves and bye.